Hey guys, get ready with me as I do this colorful soft glam look as a millennial. Yes, I said a millennial. If you want to know how I achieved this look, keep watching. Hey guys, we're gonna jump right into the makeup. I did a little bit of brow situation, but I'm just going to move it so that I can get to it and refill it in. My brows did get knocked off by my bangs, but that's okay. I do want some bangs to peek through. So my brow pencil of choice today is the Morphe Micro Brow Pencil in Latte, and I actually really do like this color. It's not too dark, so we're just gonna fill in the brow real quick. And to sculpt my brows today, I'm going to be using the Tarte Shape Tape in Tan, and I'm also using the Morphe X Jaclyn Hill brush in JH43 just to sculpt out the brow. I'm also going to set it so that when I do comb my bangs over my brows, they won't get knocked off like it just did. So I'm just going to take this and I'm just going to clean up my brow once more since we already redefined it. And of course, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm just going to take this Jaclyn Hill brush that I'll be using to blend out my under eye concealer, but we're not there yet. I'm going to take it and it's a JH18 or no, JH19. And I'm just going to blend out that concealer because we're going to put the base on the lid. And remember, if you don't have an eyeshadow base, you can go with concealer, same thing. And I'm going to go with my base. This is the P. Louise base in 0.5. And we're just going to apply it to the lid and blend it out. Please just make sure you're blending it out all the way because we don't want patchy eyeshadow. Now I'm going to be taking this HD definition powder from Makeup Forever, and I'm just going to take a little bit of it and I'm just going to set my lids slightly. Like I always tell you guys, I just like a smooth, even application with my eyeshadow. So this is going to definitely help that. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side, just lightly. And of course, I'm not going to set it too much because the eyeshadow needs to stick and have a smooth blend. So the palette today will be the Plain & Makeup by Yolanda X Melissa palette. I actually do enjoy this palette. And I'm going to go in softly with this color right here. And I'm just going to put this in the crease. We're doing a colorful, soft glam look. So I do want my crease to be soft and nice and blended before we get into any color. So I'm just going to take the brush, dip it into the shadow, tap it off slightly, and then we're just going to stamp where we want our crease to be. And the concealer is going to help the placement as well because the concealer is not as bright as the base on the lid. I'm going to do windshield wiper motions just to make sure it's blended, and literally that's all we're going to do in the crease. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so we're gonna do a colorful soft look like I said. We're gonna go in with this color first and then this color in the inner corner. So I'm just going to take those colors on a JH33 brush and we're gonna pack it very softly. So we're gonna go in with the orange first and we're just going to put it in the outer V. And then of course we're gonna blend with the crease color. But we're gonna apply the color first. Super cute. I wanted to get into some spring colors because spring has definitely sprung, and it's cute to do natural glams and things like that, but you can do a natural colorful look as well, a soft glam colorful look. Perfect. We're gonna go in on the other side and we're just gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna take another Jaclyn Hill brush. It's the JH35, and I'm gonna take that soft yellow color I showed you before right in the inner V. And when you're applying the shadow on the inner corner, it's best to keep your eyes open and look down into the mirror so you know exactly where you want to place it, especially if you're hooded like me and you want to create more real estate and the illusion that you have more real estate. Now I'm going to go back with that orange and just blend the edges together. So I'm just gonna go right in the center of the orange and the yellow and just overlap and tap softly. You don't wanna apply a lot of pressure when you're doing this because you can mess up the shadow. So you wanna make sure that it's a seamless blend. So just have a light hand when you do this. And the look is almost done. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of definition. If you know any of my makeup tutorials, you know I love definition when it comes to eyeshadow, but we're still gonna keep it soft. I'm gonna go in with this color right here. It is called Glazed Donut. And I'm just going to tap lightly into the color, tap off the excess, and we're just going to pat the outer corner. That's literally all we're doing. We're not blending back and forth. We're just going to tap just to create some definition. And as you can see, it's really pretty. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. And literally, we're just gonna go back and touch up the crease with our first color, of course, on that JH32. Tap off, and we're just gonna go right above the color. This is just going to ensure that everything is blended on the edges and everything looks seamless. I love the word seamless because that's how I love my makeup to look. Same thing on the other side. So I've been obsessed with this LA Girl Jet Setter liquid liner in the color black, and it's just so easy to create a wing. So we're gonna take this and see what kind of wing we can create. Bold, soft, who knows? Let's go. So I'm gonna take the brush that I did my brows with, which is the JH43, and I'm just gonna take some foundation and I'm just going to clean up the edges of the wing, but I'm obsessed with it. And when I put the lashes on, you can't talk to me. I'm just letting you know right now, just saying. So I'm gonna be taking the Huda Beauty foundation in the color Toffee 20G, and I'm just gonna get a little bit on the back of my hand. I think this is a Tegaderm, I'm not too sure, but I like to use this when I'm mixing my foundation. Since I have to mix today, I might as well just put it on. So I'm gonna take the foundation and I'm just gonna clean up my wing. The reason why I do this is because when I'm blending my concealers and my contour, I do not wanna get too close to the wing to mess it up. So this will ensure me that the wing has product around it and can blend with the concealer and the bronzer, and I won't mess the wing up. So my skin is already moisturized and all that good stuff, but I'm going to prime with you guys. On the skin, I'm going to be using the Hydro Grip, and under my eyes, I'm going to be using the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. This is my favorite for under the eyes. It makes everything super smooth, and the Milk Primer just makes sure that everything sticks and lasts. I'm gonna take a little bit on my ring fingers of that Smashbox primer, and I'm just going to make sure that it's warmed up to the skin, and I'm just going to take it and pat it under the eyes and just bring it down a little bit just to make sure everything is nice and smooth. I actually really love this for under my eyes. It helps with blurring any lines and all that good stuff. Next, I'm going to take my Milk Primer. I really don't like to use this with my hands, but why not today? And I'm just going to get a good amount, and I'm just going to rub it. I'm going to avoid under my eyes because we already have primer there. I have to move my sideburns. I don't want makeup on my sideburns, but I'm just going to let this dry down. I'm going to be mixing my foundation with this LA Girl Pro Color Mixing Foundation Pigment, which is blue. This is way too golden for me, and I'm very neutral. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of this and mix it on the back of my hand while this is drying. So I'm just gonna apply my foundation to where I need it to be. And of course, it's going to oxidize a little bit more. But I'm just going to apply the foundation. But this is what I'm working with so far. Okay, so this is what the foundation looks like so far, and I'm still working with it. I'm taking Tarte Shape Tape and Tan Sand, and I'm just gonna highlight under the eyes a bit. Yeah, just a bit, because remember, I'm super neutral, and then I also have to make the foundation and concealers work for me. So just trust the process. But if you are new here, yes. If you're not, you already know that everything will turn out amazing as usual. So I'm just gonna take this concealer and put it on the high points of the face. period. See? And the concealer is already starting to tone down the foundation and make it look more like my skin tone. Perfect. So I'm gonna let this sit for a second. We'll be back to blend. So I'm gonna take this concealer from MAC. This is the 24-Hour Studio Fix Concealer. It's in the color NW55. I'm just gonna put a dot where I need it to be. And I'm gonna blend this right away because I do not want this to dry down. So I'm gonna take this Milani Make It Last and I'm going to spray my face so that it'll help me blend out the concealers better. Not too much, of course. I'm gonna take my foundation brush and I'm just going to pat the concealer where I want it to be. And I'm going to also blend it up into that concealer. I'm gonna be doing liquid blush as well. But like I said, I do not want this concealer to dry down. So I'm going to blend it out first so that we don't have any hiccups. So yeah, just blending it out with a setting spray will help it, you know, blend into the skin better. Also, I'm using a matte foundation and my skin is, I want to say, normal. So I don't want it to dry down too much since the foundation's already matte. The concealer is matte as well. So just to give it a little bit of hydration, that's why I sprayed my face. And we're just going to pat it in with the foundation brush. Of course, you want the foundation brush to help the concealer blend. Since it's more than 3 shades darker than me, I just want to make sure I have a seamless blend. So I'm going to take my powder puff as usual and I'm going to blend out the under eyes. The reason why, no, I'm not going to do the under eyes yet. I'm going to do around my mouth and my chin only because I like my concealer under my eyes to dry down just a little bit more to give me that full coverage look. But powder puffs are amazing. I love powder puffs to blend out. I'm doing the edges. I'm not going to do directly under the eyes. Baby, when it comes to makeup, there's no rules. And especially with me, and I'm telling you what I'm about to do and I still went right here, which is technically under the eyes, but it's okay. So I'm going to take a powder puff. The reason why I take a powder puff is because it just lets everything blend out evenly and it doesn't pick up a lot of product, so you're not wasting it like if you're using a beauty blender. I do use beauty blenders from time to time, but I love a powder puff when it comes to blending out concealer. It's just that for me. Like, it's that girl for me. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm gonna take whatever's left of the concealer and put it like on the corners of my mouth because whenever I do my lipstick, it's just always dark around there and I hate to touch it up. I hate to edit my photos. I like my photos to be raw and uncut. So this is gonna allow me not to have to Photoshop and edit around my mouth. Okay, now we're gonna start to blend out under the eyes just to make sure that everything looks good. See how full coverage that thing is once you let it sit? It's already full coverage, but once you let it sit, it just gives you like that flawless, seamless blend. And plus the concealer is not going to be going all over the place because you let it dry down. If you go in and blend your concealer right away, it'll just be all over the place. And who wants that? So we have that blend and it looks so good. And of course, I'm going to do my extra bright highlight. I wouldn't be Diana if I wasn't gonna do it. This is in the color light neutral. So I'm just gonna pop this one right up in here, just right there. And I'm gonna let her dry down as well. So I'm gonna take this liquid blush in Marigold from Juvia's Place and I'm just going to place it. I'm gonna do a little dot because I definitely know that a little goes a long way with this product. And I'm gonna also blend it out with my foundation brush just because, and yeah, we're gonna see what it gives me. So I'm not going to spray it since it's already a cream product or a liquid product. So we're just going to pat it into the skin and I'm gonna make sure that it's right between the contour and the concealer that we used. So it's a little soft situation. And then I'm also going to powder contour in a second just to blend everything in, add our blush. But it's just a soft 1, 2, 3. So I'm gonna blend it on the side of the brush first. And then I'll take the bristles and I will blend it in. Actually super pretty. It's a very pretty soft look. And I love that I'm getting into liquid and cream blushes because it just adds a little touch to the skin. Especially if you don't want to go in with powder blush. This will just give you a hint of color. This is actually really pretty. Yeah, I like it. Since we let the concealer dry down a little bit, I'm just going to go in with my powder puff and I'm going to blend in my extra highlight and we're going to go into setting. So of course, if you're a beginner, you want to hold your mirror up and blend the concealer in. Looking into the mirror while you're blending out your concealer just helps you know exactly where you're putting the product and where you're blending out that product. Okay, so before I get into the whole powder contour and my blush and stuff like that, I do want to set under my eyes because it is crucial. So today I'm going to be taking the Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder. And this is a dupe for the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Powder in my opinion. So why not go with an affordable option today since everything is mostly affordable. So we're just gonna get a little bit on the cap. So of course it's time to set. If you're a beginner, we're gonna use our mirror again. We're gonna blend out, get a little bit of face powder, tap it on the back of your hand or on your hand, and then we'll just press the powder in. That's the best way to do it when you're a beginner because you don't want any creasing. So what I'm gonna do is the same exact steps, but I'm not gonna use my mirror. I'm just going to look up. We're gonna get a little bit of powder. I'm going to take it on the back of my hand and I'm just going to press that powder in, and then I'm going to set. This just ensures that you're not using a whole bunch of powder. We're gonna get an even set because we knocked off some of the powder and made sure that we have an even surface of setting powder. That was a mouthful. So we're gonna do the same thing on this side. We're gonna pat the concealer in and make sure we have no creasing. We're gonna get some powder, make sure we have some powder. We're going to blend it on the back of our hand and then we're going to set. I'm gonna go in with a little bit more powder and we're just going to bake. So of course, if you're a beginner, we're going to look at the mirror and we're going to just press the setting powder in and we're going to make sure we have a bake, okay? We're not gonna push the powder all the way in this time because we already did that. And then we're just going to push it in to the skin and make sure we have an even bake. So I'm gonna do the same thing for my chin and under here as well. Sometimes you'll get an even amount of powder on the puff. We're not gonna bake under the contour just because I don't want to today, but we are going to bake the chin and above the lips. So we're gonna get a little bit more powder and we're just gonna let it sit there and bake. Whatever's left on the back of my hand, I'm gonna definitely take that and just bake around my nose. I'm also gonna do the same thing, knock off the powder. And we're just going to set down the bridge of the nose really quickly. And then I'm gonna go in and get some more powder and then we're gonna bake. So I just took my bronzer from NARS, this is in Laguna, and I just set my concealer. Now we're gonna go in and actually contour. So my contour of choice today is my Mineralized Skin Finish in Dark Tan. I actually really enjoy this bronzer. This is what she looks like. So we're just gonna take that, and this is the JH04, the same brush that I use to apply my NARS Laguna. We're gonna apply this MAC powder, and I'm just going to pop it right on top of what we just applied, the Laguna. The Laguna is kind of close to my skin tone, so it's not gonna really give me much of a contour bronzer situation. So that's why I'm grabbing the MAC, and as you can see, I'm absolutely bronzed. I love this powder. And it's very soft and natural. Since the foundation is full coverage from Huda, I like to use natural powders on top of a full coverage foundation. I'm actually gonna pinch my brush and I'm going to contour my nose right on top of the Laguna as well. So I'm gonna take this blush from Juvia's Place. This is in volume 6. And this is what she looks like. Very soft and pretty. I'm gonna take another Jaclyn Hill brush. So this is a JH06. And I'm just gonna tap in and get both. And then we're just going to build this up. I don't want the blush to overpower the look. So I'm just going to lightly blend it in. When you use a brush like this to apply blush, it just is going to blend it and feather it in for you. So you'll always see me using a fluffy brush when it comes to blush. So I'm gonna go back with my brush that I used the Mineralized Skin Finish with, which was my bronzer. And I'm just going to blend out the blush. You don't want it to be too harsh because these are so pigmented. And the face is looking super good, super yummy. Love that. For me, I think I'm gonna go in with my under eye powder. So I'm just gonna take the brush that I use to blend out my concealer under my brow, and also the brush that I use to blend out my base. And I'm just going to push this setting powder in. The reason why I'm doing this is because the product that I have on the brush is going to help diffuse and blend in that setting powder. So now I can go in and do what I gotta do. I'm gonna tighten up my nose contour because once you start to do the under eye, it's so close to the nose, it will try to, you know, interfere. We don't want that. Okay, so I'm gonna take this brush, this is the JH14, and I'm just going to take my favorite powder, as you can see. This is MAC NC43 Studio Fix powder. And of course, if you are a beginner, we're gonna take this powder and we're gonna look up into the mirror just to make sure we know exactly where we are applying this powder. Once you get used to doing your makeup, you can just look up and press it in. But like I said, if you're a beginner, just look up into your mirror to make sure you're putting the powder exactly where you want it to be. I'm gonna take the powder and I'm going to use it wherever we put that setting powder or that baking powder. And we're going to also go over here because remember we use a little bit of setting powder here and also here. Just to make sure that everything is blended, I'm gonna go back with my bronzer. Just to make sure everything is blended, you're gonna go around the edges. So the same brush that I just used to push in that baking powder, I'm gonna go back with it. This is the JH19 and I'm gonna take that same Studio Fix powder in NC43 and I'm gonna use this instead. And I'm just going to pat the product exactly where I need it to be. And of course, if you're a beginner, like I said, look up into the mirror so you know exactly where you're placing your product. Perfect. The reason why I went back with this brush is because I just wanted a little bit more coverage. Setting time. So, well, not setting time. I'm going to melt all my powders in. So I'm going to take the Mario Badescu in Cucumber Green Tea, and I'm going to take my Make It Last by Milani. And I'm going to dry it with my fan. Now I'm going to take the Make It Last. And look how it has melted the powders into the skin. My skin has a nice radiant glow. Obsessed with that. I want to smoke out my lower lash line. I have to be careful. I should have done this and I always forget to do this right before I knock off my setting powder, but we're here and it's okay. I'm gonna take this color that I actually didn't use on the look just because I want a little smoke on the bottom. So I'm gonna take this color right here. So we're gonna take this little brush, this is a JH39, and we're gonna apply it softly up under here. And I'm not gonna do any liner or anything, but I do want to add a little bit of smoke. Like, do you not see how it just bumped up the look a little bit more? I just can't go without my under eye smoke, I'm sorry. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So I want to add some sparkle in my inner corners. We're going to go in with this color called Melanin, and I'm going to take it on the same brush that I used to do the yellow. So we're going to get a little bit of melanin and we're just going to pop it right here. Yep, you can see that. And then we're going to pop it right there. I'm also going to take this eyeshadow and I'm going to highlight with it. So we're going to take the brush that I used the blush on and we're just going to get a little bit of highlight. Ooh, so pretty. So pretty. Okay, and I'm gonna take my bronzer brush and I'm going to blend that out. So pretty. Yes, you can use eyeshadow as your highlight and you can use your eyeshadow as your blush, eyeshadow as contour. Makeup has no rules. So I've already prepped my lashes, so we're just gonna pop those on really quickly. These are just some Shein lashes that they don't sell anymore, and I wish I got like 10 pairs because these are the perfect lashes with and without makeup. Trust me, the perfect. So we're gonna just pop the lash on. How perfect are these lashes? I'm just so mad that they don't have them anymore. Like, they're just the perfect amount of drama that you need, but it's all good. Like, tell me these aren't the perfect lashes. Like, since I put some more product on my face, I'm just gonna take the Mario Badescu and just melt in that highlight. You just don't want it just sitting on the face. We don't want that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to some lips because the look is almost done. We're gonna do two lip liners. We're gonna do the NYX Suede in the color Downtown Beauty, which is a soft, cool milk chocolate brown. And then we're gonna do chestnut on the outside. We all know what chestnut looks like, hopefully. NYX first. We're just gonna line the lips. And I'm gonna take my chestnut, of course, on the outside only. We're gonna take Creme de Nude. As you can see, Creme de Nude is bae. Oh, hell We're gonna take creme de nude. She's super tiny, so you know, creme de nude clearly is bae. And we're gonna put it in the center. She's on her last leg, so we're gonna treat her kindly. She's on her last leg, like literally, there's nothing much in here. This is so pretty. This is adorable. I'm gonna go in with the NYX since it's a softer brown. We're just gonna go around the lipstick one more time. And then right here, we're gonna do the chestnut, like under here. And I'm gonna take this gloss, it's probably discontinued from MAC. This is in the color Signs of Spring, which is so appropriate for this tutorial. Super pretty. So we're just gonna pop this on the center. Oh, it's so perfect. Oh my God, it matches perfectly. I'm gonna go back with the NYX, of course, just to make sure everything was blended in on the edges. And we're not gonna go back with the chestnut. It's not necessary. So pretty. And this is the final look. I wanted to bring you guys a beginner-friendly, colorful makeup tutorial that is still soft with glowy skin. And I think I achieved that. I am truly obsessed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more makeup tutorials. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.